I'm Henry Ramos, and this is the news in San Antonio. Two suspects, including a teen, are facing capital murder charges. This is after a deadly shooting earlier this year. The Bexar County Sheriff says 19-year-old Kilo Kimtker was arrested in connection to the murder of John Leonard. A 17-year-old who was only 16 at the time of the crime is also being charged. Deputies found Leonard shot on January 14th. Then in March, deputies responded to a robbery involving a man named Paul Bussell. He had allegedly been trying to sell a firearm, and just days later, he was found dead, shot 13 times. The deputies believe that Kimtker is connected to both murders. The sheriff says that they are still searching for at least two other suspects. A 77-year-old woman who was swept to her death by floodwaters June 12th was remembered by family and friends. Loved ones say Esther Chung was a woman who would always help others in need. Sue Kalberg has more on a woman who is deeply missed.
Neighbors say it's fitting that Chung died here near her church. They say she was absolutely devoted to her faith. They say she was a regular at early morning services, and that's how she died. Before dawn, they say, Esther Chung's car was swept downstream, her minister telling her friends that when she was recovered, she had the look of a person at peace. Transcending language in Korean and English, in songs and prayers, they celebrated her life with a melody of eternal love, honoring a woman of grace who they say always helped those in need, living the message emblazoned on the church to love God, love your neighbor.
So her life is alternation, working hard, go to church, share love, always pray.
I asked her, I was just curious, I said, "Are you a Christian?" And she says, "Oh yes, Christ is my life."
Meanwhile, outside the church, the flood recovery effort continues. Workers are replacing the fence that trapped Chung's car, and city crews spent the day hauling away tons of debris. Her friends say they will continue to advocate for improvements to flood control so that her death will not be in vain and not be repeated. In Northeast San Antonio, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
A former Comal ISD teacher is facing more charges. Last year, Jennifer Massey was charged with an improper relationship between an educator and a student. At the time, she was arrested at her home when investigators say they caught her allegedly engaging in sexual conduct with a juvenile. Now, according to online jail records, Massey is facing more charges like sex trafficking, sexual assault of a child, and 2 counts of indecency with a child sexual contact. Cyber attacks don't just target computers anymore. They can strike cars, drones, even hospitals. But in San Antonio, professors at St. Mary's University are working to stop these threats before they start. Reporter Roxy Van Rooten has the story.
At first glance, these look like toys, but in this lab at St. Mary's, they're powerful tools to fight cybercrime. A new $340,000 grant from the Department of Defense is funding autonomous vehicles, robots, and drones, helping researchers strengthen cybersecurity.
For this grant will help us to do research in strengthening the cybersecurity for the AI-based system, like autonomous vehicle.
And they're not just protecting data, they're working to prevent real-world harm.
This kind of attack, so the goal of the attacker is not only to steal the data, but also cause physical harm.
The team is creating artificial intelligence that can detect threats in real time, even if the attack comes from something as simple as a laser. For students like Joshua Rogers, it's a chance to work on technology that could save lives.
Hopefully I can create a system that is very efficient and very stable with the communication between the host and the receiver.
The research is already shaping lessons on campus, and one day it could help protect everything from our cars to the power grid. Roxy Van Rooten, KENS 5.
It is a campaign called Call the Shot. San Antonio police with a warning ahead of the holiday weekend. Don't shoot your guns in the air to celebrate. Reporter Simone Simpson spoke with a family that had a close call with celebratory gunfire.
A family wakes up to a bullet lodged in their roof above their child's bed. A harrowing reason why the city and SAPD are working together to stop celebratory gunfire ahead of 4th of July weekend.
It didn't go all the way down to the actual ceiling, because if it did, it would have hit my son's bedroom. It was 2 feet to the right. It would have hit his bed right where he was sleeping at.
Gus and Lily Vargas are grateful their son is safe. They believe the gunfire happened this past Mother's Day around 4 o'clock in the morning.
We assume it was during that time frame because I didn't realize it till a couple of days when, after the big rains passed through, that's when I noticed the water damage in my roof.
Gus says repair will cost thousands, but emotionally,
you don't realize the damage that it can do until it happens.
According to SAPD, the average number of daily gunfire reports they received last year was 79 a day. That same year, SAPD received 287 calls on July 4th.
They don't see the effects right away or at all because you don't know where that bullet is going to land.
San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says what goes up must come down.
It's illegal. It's a Class A misdemeanor. You can go to jail for up to a year and be fined up to $4,000.
The San Antonio Police Department says depending on the situation, celebratory gunfire can be several offenses, such as discharging a firearm, disorderly conduct, or aggravated assault. SAPD says based on data from last 4th of July, there were no discharge of firearm arrests.
I don't know what folks think, but if they don't think it's dangerous, when that bullet comes down, it is, because if it hits you, it can kill you.
Unfortunately, nothing happened to us, just minor damages, but just be responsible gun owners.
Simone Simpson, KENS 5.
And by your qualifications and the oath you have taken, each of you is now a citizen of the United States of America. Congratulations.
A true celebration of freedom. Thursday, 50 new Americans took the oath of citizenship inside San Antonio Council chambers. They were surrounded by family, dignitaries in the red, white, and blue. New San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones delivering a warm welcome to the city's newest citizens. The group represented 20 different countries, including Mexico, Vietnam, Iran, Jamaica, and Lebanon. Well, babies born this week will forever have their birthdays connected to the 4th of July. And what better way to celebrate Independence Day with some patriotic outfits? Methodist Hospital announcing the arrival of several firecracker newborn babies by dressing them in festive red, white, and blue outfits. Hospital staff say it is a nice way to make the birth of a child even more special for the families welcoming their newest additions. Love to see it. And that is the news in San Antonio. Have a great day.